On Thursday, March 12th, the moon moves into Capricorn, and I know on the surface that might not sound like the most exciting thing in the world. But here's what's really getting my attention. This isn't just another lunar transit. The way the planets have lined up, the timing of everything that's been happening this month, I really believe tomorrow is the day that hard work finally, undeniably pays off. And if you've been grinding, pushing, showing up consistently even when it felt like nothing was moving forward, stay with me on this one. Because there's a very specific reason why tomorrow might be the breakthrough moment you've been waiting for, and I'm going to break down exactly why later in this video. But first, there's something I think you need to understand about what's been building up to this point, because tomorrow's moon isn't happening in isolation. It's the culmination of everything that's been shifting this entire month. And honestly, when I started connecting all these dots, it completely changed how I'm approaching this week. Something has been clearing out, and you've felt it. So let's talk about what's already happened this month, because I think it's been intense for a lot of us. On March 3rd, we had that total lunar eclipse in Virgo. And if you felt like that eclipse just completely dismantled something in your life, like it ruthlessly exposed where you've been burning out, overworking, or clinging to toxic perfectionism, you're not imagining it. I believe that eclipse was the demolition crew. It had to come through and clear out the broken systems, the unsustainable habits, the frantic energy that was masquerading as productivity. Because here's the thing, new structures can't be built on a foundation of burnout. Does that make sense? The Virgo eclipse forced us to audit our lives. It asked, where have you been grinding yourself into the ground without actually making progress? Where have you been so caught up in the details that you lost sight of whether this is even taking you where you want to go? And for a lot of us, that was brutal. I've heard from so many people who felt completely destabilized by that eclipse. But here's what I really want you to understand, that clearing was necessary. Because what's happening tomorrow with the Capricorn moon? It's about receiving rewards, material results, tangible success, and the universe needed to make sure those rewards were landing on solid ground, not on a crumbling foundation of exhaustion. So, if these past couple weeks have felt like a purge, emotionally, physically, energetically, that's because they were. You've been clearing space for what's coming. And honestly, that was a big aha moment for me when I realized what was really happening. The floodgates just opened. Did you feel it? Now, here's where things start to accelerate. On March 10th, just 2 days ago, Jupiter stationed direct in Cancer. And if you don't know what that means, let me explain why I think this is such a massive deal. Jupiter has been retrograde since November. For the past 4 months, Jupiter's expansive, lucky, abundant energy has been turned inward. So all that growth, all those opportunities, all that forward momentum, it's been happening internally, behind the scenes in ways you couldn't necessarily see or measure. During Jupiter retrograde, you might have felt like you were doing all this work, but nothing was landing. Like you were putting in the effort, but the recognition, the money, the opportunities, they just weren't materializing, right? But when Jupiter stations direct, it's like a dam breaking. All that internal growth, all that invisible work, all that quiet preparation, it suddenly gets released into the external world. And I think a lot of us felt that shift on March 10th. Things that were mysteriously blocked suddenly became possible. Conversations that were stalled started moving again. Opportunities that seemed dead in the water came back to life. And here's what makes this even more powerful. Jupiter is in Cancer right now, which is one of the best placements Jupiter can be in. Jupiter in Cancer expands our emotional security, our sense of home and safety, our capacity to nurture ourselves and others. So the growth that's been happening during this retrograde, it's been deeply personal. It's been about building a secure internal foundation. And now that Jupiter is direct, I believe all that emotional clarity and inner work is about to translate into real, tangible success in the outside world. The timing of this, just 2 days before the Capricorn moon, it's not random. It's like the universe is unlocking the vault right before the delivery arrives. Tomorrow, the moon steps into the boardroom. So let's talk about what actually happens tomorrow. At midnight on March 12th, the moon crosses into Capricorn, and the energy shift is immediate. Here's how I think about it. If Cancer is the nurturing parent who creates emotional safety, Capricorn is the CEO who builds empires. Capricorn doesn't care about your feelings in the moment. It cares about what you've actually built. It measures results. It checks the structural integrity of your goals. It only rewards tangible output. Now, the moon being in Capricorn can sometimes feel heavy because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the planet of discipline, boundaries, reality checks, and karma. When the moon moves through Capricorn, emotional validation takes a back seat to measurable achievement. It's not a warm, fuzzy energy. It's the energy of the inspector showing up to see if you actually did the work. But here's where this gets really interesting, and this is what makes tomorrow so different from just any other Capricorn moon. As the moon moves through Capricorn tomorrow, it's going to oppose Jupiter in Cancer. And because Jupiter just went direct 2 days ago, its energy is radiating outward at full force. So what does that create? It creates this incredibly powerful axis between private emotional security and public material success. The internal foundation you've been building while Jupiter was retrograde, your sense of safety, your emotional clarity, your deepened self-awareness, that's now being transmuted into external victories. Professional recognition, financial rewards, structural stability. I think this opposition is basically saying, you've done the inner work, now here's the outer result. And honestly, when I understood this connection, it completely shifted how I'm approaching tomorrow. This isn't random luck, this is karma paying out. Okay, so I want to be really clear about something, because I think this is where a lot of people misunderstand what's happening tomorrow. This isn't about getting lucky. This isn't about some cosmic windfall dropping into your lap for no reason. Capricorn energy, and especially the moon in Capricorn, operates on one very specific principle. You get exactly what you've earned, not what you hoped for, not what you think you deserve based on good intentions. What you've actually built through sustained, disciplined effort. Saturn, Capricorn's ruling planet, is basically the lord of karma. It keeps the cosmic ledger, it tracks cause and effect, and when the moon moves through a Saturn-ruled sign like Capricorn, it activates that ledger, it checks the accounts. So if the past few months have been characterized by procrastination, shortcuts, or avoiding responsibility, tomorrow's moon might deliver a reality check instead of a reward. And I'm not saying that to scare you, I'm saying it because I think honesty is important. Capricorn has no tolerance for empty claims or unearned entitlement. But, and this is crucial, if you have been showing up consistently, if you have been doing the work even when nobody was watching, if you've been maintaining your integrity and building something real, tomorrow is the day the cosmic escrow account opens. Does that resonate? The phrase hard work pays off isn't just a motivational cliche in this context. I believe it's the literal mechanical translation of what happens when Capricorn energy meets a direct Jupiter. The universe is settling accounts, and for those who've earned it, the payout is about to be massive. One more thing is locking this in place. Now, before I tell you which 3 signs are positioned to win the biggest tomorrow, I need to mention one more transit that's happening right after the Capricorn moon, because I think this is what seals everything in place. On March 13th, just hours after the moon enters Capricorn, Mars conjuncts the North Node in Pisces, and if you're not familiar with the nodes, let me explain why this matters. The North Node represents your evolutionary path. It's the compass pointing toward your destiny, your soul's purpose, the direction you're meant to grow toward. And when Mars, the planet of action, drive, and forward momentum, collides with the North Node, it creates this massive surge of energy pushing you toward your fate. So here's what I think is happening. The Capricorn moon delivers the material rewards and resources on March 12th, and then immediately, on March 13th, Mars conjunct the North Node drafts those rewards into service of your bigger purpose. This sequence tells me that the victories you experience tomorrow aren't random strokes of luck or superficial ego boosts. I believe they're deeply fated developments. The promotion you get, the money that finally comes through, the authority you're granted. These are exactly the tools you need to step into your true path moving forward. The universe is basically saying, here are the resources, now go do what you came here to do, and that's what makes this period so powerful. It's not just about success for success's sake, it's about alignment with destiny. The 3 signs about to experience massive breakthroughs. Alright, so let's get to what I know you're waiting for. While this Capricorn moon provides stabilizing, reality-checking energy for everyone, there are 3 specific signs that are positioned to experience tomorrow as a life-altering victory. Based on the planetary geometry, the house activations, and the interplay with Jupiter going direct, these 3 signs are about to win big. And those signs are Capricorn, Aries, and Virgo. If you have your sun, moon, or rising sign in any of these 3, I really want you to pay close attention because what I'm about to explain might completely shift how you see your current situation. Capricorn, the crown is being returned. Capricorn, if you're watching this, tomorrow is your day. The moon is moving through your first house, which is the house of identity, personal power, and how you show up in the world. This is deeply personal for you. And I know the beginning of 2026 has probably felt heavy. With Saturn in Aries activating your 4th house of home and foundations, you've likely been dealing with intense internal pressure. Maybe family responsibilities have been weighing on you. Maybe you've felt this constant tension between your professional ambitions and your personal life. Maybe you've just felt exhausted trying to hold everything together. And then Jupiter's retrograde in your 7th house of partnerships probably forced you to examine your relationships, both romantic and professional. You've had to figure out how to balance your fierce independence with the emotional needs of the people around you. That's not been easy, right? But here's what shifts tomorrow. First, Jupiter going direct in your partnership sector on March 10th means the support systems around you are suddenly unblocking. Business partners, spouses, collaborators, they're now in a position to offer real, tangible help. That feeling of carrying everything alone, it's lifting. And when the moon enters your first house tomorrow, opposing that newly direct Jupiter in your partnerships, you're thrust into the spotlight. Your leadership qualities, which you've been quietly honing during all those difficult months, are suddenly recognized and rewarded by others. But here's what I'm most excited about for you, Capricorn, the financial unblocking. I really believe tomorrow acts like a master key for you. Money that's been stuck, delayed client payments, pending settlements, stalled investments, it finally starts moving. Your conservative, strategic approach to wealth management over the past months yields real results. You're not just surviving anymore. You're building a secure, expanding foundation. For Capricorn, I think tomorrow is the exact moment the crown is returned. The authority you've earned, the respect you've commanded through sheer perseverance, it's no longer invisible. It's undeniable. Aries, the career explosion. Aries, your experience tomorrow is going to be different, but equally powerful. For you, the Capricorn moon is activating your 10th house, the very peak of your chart. The house of career, public reputation, legacy, and authority. And I know this year has been contradictory for you so far. With both Saturn and Neptune in your first house, you felt this weird friction between your natural impulse to charge forward and these forces that seem to be slowing you down, making everything feel foggy or restricted. But I think that suppression has been building pressure, and tomorrow, when the moon hits the top of your chart, that pressure releases entirely into your professional sphere. The 10th house is the most visible public sector of your chart. It's where you're recognized by the masses, by institutions, by figures of authority. Tomorrow, I believe you're positioned for massive career momentum, the promotion you've been working toward, the leadership role that finally opens up, the successful launch of something you've been building behind the scenes. This isn't luck, Aries. This is the direct result of you demonstrating uncharacteristic patience and discipline over these past difficult months. And here's what makes this even better for you. Jupiter going direct in your 4th house means your home life, your emotional foundation, is stabilizing at the exact same time your career is exploding. So you're not sacrificing your personal life for professional success. Both are expanding together. Plus, with Mars, your ruling planet, moving toward that North Node conjunction on the 13th, the career victories you achieve tomorrow are aligned with your ultimate spiritual destiny. You're not just climbing a corporate ladder for the sake of it. I think you're stepping into your fated role in the world, and honestly, that's incredibly powerful. Virgo, the chaos ends, the mastery begins. Virgo, you've been through it. That total lunar eclipse on March 3rd in your first house was brutal. I know it forced you to confront your deepest shadows, your perfectionism, your burnout patterns, your anxiety around control, your tendency to give until you're completely depleted. That eclipse demanded you release those toxic coping mechanisms, and if you felt like everything was falling apart, like you were being completely dismantled, you were. But not to destroy you, to rebuild you on a sustainable foundation. And here's why tomorrow is so significant for you, Virgo. Capricorn is a fellow earth sign, so when the moon moves through Capricorn, it creates this harmonious, supportive trine to your core energy. There's no friction. It's like the universe is saying, you survived the eclipse, you did the hard inner work, now here's the material reward. For you, I think tomorrow brings financial and professional stabilization. All those meticulous efforts you've been putting into your work, efforts that went unnoticed, were taken for granted, or were met with criticism, they're suddenly appraised at their true value. The Capricorn moon cuts through the emotional confusion of the eclipse window and delivers a clear, pragmatic return on investment. Your hard work finally, undeniably pays off. And here's something else I'm seeing. With Mercury moving toward that conjunction with Mars in your partnership sector, the rewards you receive tomorrow might be facilitated by an unexpected collaboration, negotiation, or contract. Someone who recognizes your worth and is ready to compensate you accordingly. For Virgo, tomorrow is the day the chaos ends, the anxiety subsides, and the absolute mastery of the material realm begins. You've earned this. What you need to do right now. Okay, so now that you know what's coming tomorrow and which signs are positioned to benefit the most, here's what I think you should actually do with this information. First, and I really mean this, trust the process you've been in. If you've been feeling frustrated that your hard work hasn't been paying off yet, if you've been wondering when things are finally going to break through, tomorrow is that moment. But you have to trust that the work you've done counts. The universe has been keeping track, even if it hasn't felt like it. Second, show up tomorrow with confidence. The Capricorn moon rewards those who can stand in their authority without apologizing. This isn't the time for false modesty or downplaying your achievements. If an opportunity presents itself, claim it. If recognition comes your way, accept it. You've earned it. Third, be ready to take action. With that Mars North Node conjunction happening the day after, the window for decisive movement is short. If you receive resources, opportunities, or breakthroughs tomorrow, don't just sit on them. I think the universe is asking you to immediately put them to use in service of your bigger purpose. And finally, and this might be the most important, let go of anything that's not aligned. The rewards coming tomorrow are meant for the version of you that's been doing the real work. If there are still people, habits, or situations in your life that represent the old patterns the Virgo eclipse tried to clear, tomorrow's energy will make it very obvious that they don't belong anymore. Have the courage to release them. This is just the beginning. Here's what I really want you to understand about tomorrow. This Capricorn moon isn't just a one-day event, it's a turning point. The structures you solidify tomorrow, the boundaries you establish, the tangible rewards you claim, these become the foundation for everything that comes next. Because right after this, the month accelerates toward the astrological new year on March 20th, when the sun enters Aries. We're about to enter this massive, pioneering initiation energy, and the victories you win under tomorrow's Capricorn moon, they're the bedrock you'll need to launch into that fire. I believe the universe is giving you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. The internal clarity from Jupiter's retrograde, the clearing from the Virgo eclipse, the resources and recognition from tomorrow's Capricorn moon, the fated push from the Mars node conjunction. It's all building on itself, creating momentum towards something bigger than any single transit. So if you've been in the grind, if you've been showing up even when it was hard, if you've maintained your integrity when it would have been easier to cut corners, tomorrow is your day. The cosmic ledger is balancing, and I really believe you're about to see the proof that your hard work wasn't in vain. All right, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for being here. Seriously, it means a lot that you stayed with me through all of this. If this resonated and you want to see more content like this, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps, and I really want to hear from you, especially if you're one of the 3 signs I mentioned. Are you already feeling this energy building? Has anything shifted for you since Jupiter went direct? Drop your experiences in the comments. I read every single one, and I think we're all experiencing this together in different ways. Take care of yourself, trust the process, and I'll see you in the next one.